Part 42. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, Love to Eat Chicken Legs. Chapter 418. At this moment, Qin Hao's heart was shaken. He sensed an indescribable and terrifying killing technique. Even the soul that has stepped onto the level of the immortal emperor is feeling a strong sense of panic. This killing technique can kill the immortal emperor. Qin Hao couldn't help but have such thoughts in his mind. There is no way, the killing power of the emperor's Dao is really terrible. Even if Qin Hao fuses the 9-story immortal tower, it is impossible to block it. After all, the 9-story immortal tower it is just an immortal treasure, and it seems to be a sealed immortal treasure. Although it contains immortal magic far beyond the level of the immortal emperor, in fact, it does not have the lethality of the immortal emperor level. The reason why Qin Hao was able to fight with the dark immortal emperor before, fighting for thousands of years. More, they were just resisting the dark immortal emperor, rather than causing any serious injuries to the dark immortal emperor. To put it bluntly, they were being beaten all the time. Qin Hao originally wanted to use this to find a foothold. The opportunity to enter the immortal emperor realm. But who would have thought that he could never find the opportunity to enter the immortal emperor realm? Now, he has fallen into such a death crisis. If you don't have a complete Dao, can you really not become an emperor? Qin Hao roared, and the avenues of cause and effect, destiny, chaos, hongmeng, etc. all over his body were violently surging and exploding. He was not willing to die just like that. He was not willing to work hard for countless years, and everything would be in vain at the end. He understood all the avenues he had understood, they are all offering sacrifices at this moment, willing to risk their lives and break through the shackles of heaven and earth that prevents them from becoming emperors. In vain. The dark immortal emperor sneered, and used the heaven-killing technique to cover Qin Hao. The mysterious and unfathomable supreme Taoist techniques on Qin Hao's body exploded inch by inch and collapsed. The half-step immortal emperor and the true immortal emperor, the gap was clearly revealed at this moment. It could even be said that the two were not on the same level at all. There was a loud bang. Qin Hao felt that his entire soul had been completely shattered, and his consciousness was divided into thousands and scattered in the endless void. Are you going to die? Facing this feeling of being on the verge of death, Qin Hao was surprisingly calm, as if he had already accepted the outcome in his heart. Those who dare to challenge the emperor without setting foot on the immortal emperor are looking for death. Seeing Qin Hao's soul collapsed and his body and soul completely destroyed, the dark immortal emperor sneered coldly. Do you think that leaving the mark of the immortal emperor can reverse the situation? It's all over. After that, the dark immortal emperor looked at the 7 immortal lights that manifested the shadow of the immortal emperor. While sneering, the dark immortal emperor took action, using extremely terrifying secret techniques of killing, and attacked with incomparable ferocity, intending to kill the 7 immortals. Emperor Immortal Light, completely killed. Whether it ends or not is not up to you. Among the 7 immortal shadows, an immortal emperor in white showed his true appearance and spoke indifferently. Looking at his appearance, he seemed to still have some intelligence left. It's not me who has the final say, is it still you who have the final say? Don't forget, you have left this world and can no longer interfere with the grudges in this world. The cold light in the dark immortal emperor's eyes exploded, like a supreme evil demon that can kill 9 heavenly beings. Buzzing. But before the dark immortal emperor finished speaking, a slight trembling sound resounded. How can it be? This made the dark immortal emperor stiffen and look back in disbelief. Do you think he sensed Qin Hao's breath from those gentle trembling sounds? Qin Hao has obviously been killed by him, and even the origin of his soul has been completely dispersed. How is it possible that there is still breath left? In the unbelievable gaze of the dark immortal emperor, mysterious Taoism gathered. A dazzling 7-color fairy light appeared from the mysterious Taoism. That is the 9-story immortal tower. In the 9-story fairy tower, a primordial spirit aura manifested itself, with an overwhelming momentum. That was clearly the origin of Qin Hao's dispersed soul, and it was reunited at this moment. Click. Almost at the same time, there was a thunderous sound of destruction. Immediately afterwards, a Taoist aura that did not belong to this era appeared in the void. The Dark Immortal Emperor felt a chill in his heart, and immediately followed the Taoist aura. I saw two figures in the long river of time, who actually broke through the impossible Taoism and came to this life forcefully. Those two figures came from the past and the future, stepping on the avenue of time. What's more important is that the aura of the two figures is exactly the same as that of Qin Hene. Looking at it like that, it seems that he was born from the origin of Qin Hao. This is, what kind of secret method? Looking at the three identical Qin Hao, the Black Immortal Emperor was stunned. Even with his cultivation attainments and knowledge, he did not understand the situation in front of him. Wrong. Those two figures both have the aura of the Immortal Emperor. But suddenly, the Dark Immortal Emperor suddenly came back to his senses. He felt the breath of the Immortal Emperor from the figures that came in the future. In other words, those two figures both condensed the origin of the Immortal Emperor and set foot in the realm of the Immortal Emperor. How could this not make him feel unbelievable? One gas transforms three cleanses. In the 9-story fairy tower, Qin Hao's birth soul murmured to himself. The supreme magical power of the sect finally showed its true power at this moment. The Tao is incomplete in this life, and it is indeed impossible to realize the Tao again. However, if we go back to the beginning of heaven and earth, and in the future years after countless epochs, we can realize the truth. After realizing the Tao in the past body and future body, and then merging with the present body, you can directly reach the Immortal Emperor realm. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 419. Melt. With this thought, Qin Hao did not hesitate at all, and immediately used all his strength to activate the One Qi to transform the three pure ones. The Dharma body that has traveled through the long river of time and returned from the past and the future is the main soul of Qin Hao integrated into. Don't even think about it. The Dark Immortal Emperor is worthy of being a peerless giant who has stepped into the Immortal Emperor realm. In an instant, he noticed Qin Hao's intention. Without saying a word, he immediately used the heaven-killing technique again and attacked Qin Hao fiercely. Boo-hoo-hoo. But at this moment, the light and shadow of the 7 immortal emperors, including the white-clothed immortal emperor, directly burned the emperor's source, risking their lives to intercept the dark immortal emperor. Whether Qin Hao can become the emperor depends on this. Naturally, they will not let that the dark immortal emperor took action to disturb Qin Hao. Roll. The dark immortal emperor roared angrily, and between his hands turning into seals, countless rays of dark immortal light swept away unscrupulously. The white-clothed immortal emperor and other 7 immortal figures were all affected by the destruction, and their already illusory bodies became increasingly weak. It seemed that it might completely dissipate at any time. But even so, the white-clothed immortal emperor and the other 7 immortal figures did not take a step back. They burned their origins and sacrificed their lives to use the immortal emperor killing technique to hold back the dark immortal emperor. Buzz. In this momentary gap, Qin Hao's past and future bodies immediately merged with the original body. Immediately, the long river of time began to tremble violently at this moment, with a prehistoric aura that did not belong to this era, and it came from nowhere. All of them were integrated into Qin Hao's body. Qin Hao's eyes were slightly closed, and there was a faint fairy light above his head, soaring into the sky, disturbing the sky. Damn it! The dark immortal emperor's face changed greatly, he cursed angrily, and tore the 7 immortal emperors in white to pieces with unparalleled strength. You can only rely on yourself. After taking a look at Qin Hao, who possessed the laws of the supreme immortal emperor, the white-clothed immortal emperor and other 7 immortal figures completely dissipated in the long river of time. The origins of the imprints left by the 7 of them also collapsed into pieces. Go. Die. This time, the Dark Immortal Emperor directly integrated himself with the heaven-killing technique, and punched Qin Hao with a powerful punch. The next moment, a roar exploded. Then, the long river of time with a radius of hundreds of millions of miles was filled with thousands of waves. Heavy waves? The power of the Immortal Emperor realm is really different. Qin Hao, whose 3 bodies were integrated, raised his eyelids slightly and looked calmly at the Dark Immortal Emperor who was attacking in front of him. The Dark Immortal Emperor's destructive killing fist, which was enough to overturn the universe, was struck by Qin Hao in front of him, filled with chaos. The angry Hongmeng Immortal Light blocked it. The destructive shockwave just now was the aftermath of the Dark Immortal Emperor's killing technique, which bombarded the Hongmeng Immortal Light. How come? The Dark Immortal Emperor's eyes were glazed over, and he couldn't believe it. Even if Qin Hao merges his 3 bodies and sets foot in the Immortal Emperor realm, it is impossible for him to block his killing technique with just a law barrier. At this moment, in the heart of the Dark Immortal Emperor, there was a feeling of panic that was so strong that it was difficult to suppress it. It felt like facing the Immortal Emperor in white and other people in the past. Although they are both in the Immortal Emperor realm, he has achieved the way of the Immortal Emperor through the source of darkness. There is naturally a huge gap compared to those who have achieved the path through the authentic immortal way. This does not mean that the way of the Dark Immortal Emperor is weaker than the way of the Immortal Emperor of immortal magic. The difference between the two is that the dark laws of this universe are incomplete, so this also results in the Dark Immortal Emperor's Immortal Emperor laws being incomplete. In contrast, the white-clothed Immortal Emperor and others who had attained enlightenment in the past had attained enlightenment with the complete immortal law. This was also the reason why the white-clothed Immortal Emperor was able to forcefully suppress him and severely injure him in that battle in the past. Now, Qin Hao, who has just merged with the 3 bodies, can actually compare with the white-clothed Immortal Emperor and others. How could this not shock the Dark Immortal Emperor? You know, even though Qin Hao has merged his past body and future body, his present body still cannot comprehend the complete laws of immortality. Even if he reaches the Immortal Emperor level, it is absolutely impossible to be strong enough to rival the Immortal Emperor in white. Or is it that the chi of the Immortal Dao cultivated by Qin Hao is still superior to that of the Immortal Emperor in white and others? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 420. Fear. Oh, no wonder your Tao injury has not recovered after so many years. Feeling the wavering will of the Dark Immortal Emperor, a sneer appeared on Qin Hao's calm face. After knowing that he was not his opponent, the Dark Immortal Emperor actually felt a sense of terror in his heart. It can be seen that at the beginning, the Immortal Emperor in white and the other 7 what kind of psychological impact it had on him. Of course, this can also be seen how unstable the Dark Immortal Emperor's Dao heart is. If the 2 of them change places, then the Dark Immortal Emperor will. If you are only half-step Immortal Emperor, you will not dare to challenge him like him until you die. Although Qin Hao's move is extremely dangerous and almost kills him. But this is the way to practice. Wanted to reach the pinnacle and break through 10,000 paths, you must have an indestructible belief. Either life or death. This Dark Immortal Emperor obviously does not have such thoughts of living towards death. I am afraid that is why he has not been cured so far. The injuries in the body. Otherwise, with his cultivation in the Immortal Emperor realm, even if the Dao of this world is incomplete, it should not be that the Dao injuries still have not recovered after such a long time. It's over. After that, Qin Hao spoke with a calm tone, as if he was talking about a trivial matter, rather than deciding the life or death of an immortal emperor. Whoosh! Before he finished speaking, bright rays of light appeared from Qin Hao's body. In all directions, they swept towards the dark immortal emperor. At this moment, the world was bombarded violently, and even the river of time was filled with thousands of feet of waves. The energy of this kind of law is indeed far beyond the laws of this fairy land. The dark immortal emperor stood upside down with chills all over his body, not daring to stop at all, and immediately retreated. He felt a real sense of death crisis from those seemingly dazzling rays of light. Tisk tisk tisk. But it's a pity that the dark immortal emperor was just about to leave, and the rays of light shone through. The dark energy on his body was like ice and fire colliding, forming a billowing mist. What kind of dharma is this? This made the dark immortal emperor's face change color even more. He immediately changed his hands to create an endless dark vortex, trying to resist the dark energy. How can the mere darkness block the Hongmeng fairy light? The sneer on Qin Hao's face became even worse. Those rays of light like the morning sun are the Hongmeng immortal light derived from the Hongmeng immortal bones. After the three bodies merged into one and set foot in the realm of the immortal emperor, he recondensed the Hongmeng immortal bones. The bathing of the immortal emperor's law also experienced a huge transformation. After that, Qin Hao's figure flashed, surrounded by billions of Hongmeng immortal light, and directly broke into the endless dark whirlpool. The dark energy derived from the dark immortal emperor exploded and was annihilated. Plop! Seeing the dark immortal emperor appear, Qin Hao struck out with a palm, and a Hongmeng immortal seal condensed and appeared. The Hongmeng immortal seal broke through the air and struck out. The dark immortal emperor had no time to resist, and the blood on his body exploded, and the origin of darkness was annihilated. Incarnate into billions of universes. This caused the dark immortal emperor to suffer severe damage. He immediately transformed his hands into seals, spit out a mouthful of blood, and his whole person turned into countless rays of dark light. Each ray of black 0.8 dark light is equivalent to a boundless universe, with billions of many. This is the life-saving forbidden technique that the dark immortal emperor kept at the bottom of the box. As long as a ray of black light escapes, the dark immortal emperor can start from scratch. In the past, the reason why he was able to escape from the 7 immortal emperors including the white-clothed immortal emperor, he got his life thanks to this supreme forbidden technique. Now, he has used it again. It can be seen that he has been forced into a desperate situation again. Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share, Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 421. Seal up. Qin Hao simply shouted in response. A majestic and supreme law of the immortal emperor swept across and exploded unbridled. In an instant, with Qin Hao as the center, the endless void was sealed. Even the long river of time was stopped flowing at this moment. Everything is suppressed. The black light of all the clones of the dark immortal emperor who has transformed into thousands of universes are all frozen. Click. Then, a clear and crisp sound of breaking appeared. Those who were sealed by ice, the area is like the ice surface being smashed and turned into countless fragments. The black light of the dark immortal emperor who was frozen is naturally the same, dissipating into nothingness. U02. The dark immortal emperor himself was severely damaged by destruction, his aura suddenly became chaotic, and his heart became more and more horrified. Such shocking methods were enough to directly crush him. As soon as he stepped into the immortal emperor realm, his combat power was so terrifying. If Qin Hao waits to completely stabilize the immortal emperor's way, it is impossible to predict what level his combat power will reach. I am afraid that not even the giants of the Hunyuan ancient world can suppress Qin Hao. You must know that there are high and low levels of strength and weakness in the journey of the immortal emperor. The 7 people, including the immortal emperor in white who had left after attaining the way of the immortal emperor in the past, were stronger than him in terms of combat power and level of Taoism. This is also the reason why the giants of the ancient Hunyuan world in the past came and failed to suppress the 7 people, including the immortal emperor in white. Unexpectedly, this rising star Hao is actually more terrifying than the 7 immortal emperors in white. Refining the soul. At this time, Qin Hao transformed his hands into seals and used the secret soul refining method, hoping to refine the soul of the black immortal emperor, so as to know the reason why the white-clothed immortal emperor and the other 7 people left in the past. Although my origin has been damaged, I am also a being who has stepped into the realm of the immortal emperor. Do you think methods such as soul refining are useful to me? There is an extremely strange dark energy in the body of the dark immortal emperor, which blocks Qin Hao's immortal emperor law. That dark energy seems to be the origin of the dark immortal emperor's enlightenment and does not belong to this world. And the aura of the avenue contained in it is even stronger than this world. It can be seen that the dark way that the dark immortal emperor demonstrated is not much weaker than the laws of the immortal way. If the dark immortal emperor can completely destroy this dark way, if you understand it thoroughly, I'm afraid your achievements in immortal emperor Yula will not be much weaker than his. Do you want to know the inside story of the past? I can tell you the inside story, and I can even tell you how to leave this world. Seeing Qin Hao pondering his thoughts, the dark immortal emperor spoke quietly, wanting to use this to negotiate terms. Die. Qin Hao heard this, but without any hesitation, with a thought in his mind, the immortal emperor's law completely broke out. No. The dark immortal emperor suddenly changed color, but he was completely unable to resist, and his body and soul were extinguished in an instant. Rumble. With the death of the dark immortal emperor, the entire world was shaken violently. Countless creatures are aware of it. Knowing that this war between the immortal emperors that lasted for thousands of years has finally come to an end. With the death of the dark immortal emperor, the dark energy that filled every corner of the heavens also dissipated into the void of heaven and earth. This ancient world is completely new. This also made countless forces in the immortal realm extremely excited and shocked. There is no doubt that the current situation is that Qin Hao has suppressed the dark immortal emperor. The avenue is incomplete. At this time, Qin Hao, who had completely obliterated the dark immortal emperor and ended the battle, stood quietly. Although he successfully set foot on the immortal emperor by relying on the immortal emperor's laws of his past and future lives. But Qin Hao knew clearly, the immortal emperor law he condensed is still lacking _, fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 422. Because Qin Hao's cultivation in this life was only half-step to the immortal emperor. This resulted in Qin Hao's imperial realm law not reaching the perfection realm. After stopping for a long time to calm down his thoughts about the battle, Qin Hao came back to his senses. After that, Qin Hao took one step forward and left the long river of time. The long river of time that was originally cut into countless pieces and almost collapsed is gradually recovering. In the long river of time, the phantoms of the immortal emperor that emerged from the past and the future also dispersed. After walking out of the long river of time and returning to the dark ancient land, Qin Hao thought, and the endless imperial power exploded. The entire dark energy in the world was completely wiped away. Those dark creatures that had gone to great lengths to hide in the realm sea were also completely robbed. At this point, the dark chaos that has threatened the world for countless years has come to an end. All the creatures in the world felt an indescribable sense of refreshment at this moment. The void shook slightly. Qin Hao crossed the boundary sea in one step and returned to the fairyland. Welcome back, the Emperor. At this moment, the giants of the entire immortal realm immediately gathered from all over the place and saluted respectfully. The leaders were none other than the immortal king of Kinyu and other giants of the immortal king. When they saluted, their expressions were all filled with expressions that could not be concealed. Excited. Please disperse. Qin Hao didn't say much. After waving his hands to let the people in the immortal realm disperse, he returned to Deyi Holy Land in one thought. How Master. Emperor. The people of Deyi Holy Land have naturally sensed it for a long time and gathered one after another. The entire Holy Land is filled with ecstasy. Immortal Emperor. There have not been many immortals born in ancient and modern times. In today's world, Immortal Emperor, there is only one emperor-level existence, Qin Hao. Such a supreme existence actually comes from their holy land. One can imagine what kind of terrifying status he will have in this holy land from now on. How are you ready to leave? In the temple, Master Qin Hao, Qin Xian Qin Hao. Although they have not seen each other for countless years, Qin Wushuan has watched Qin Hao grow up. Naturally, Qin Wushuan can easily see Qin Hao's thoughts. Leave. In the temple, Zhang Taishu, Zhang Wuliang, Zhou Yang, Qin Fengxiu, Qin Yiyi, and others all looked at Qin Hao after hearing Qin Wushuan's words. That's right. Qin Hao nodded and did not hide anything. Judging from the disappearance of the Dark Immortal Emperor and the 7 Immortal Emperors, it is obvious that there is a higher level world outside the heavens and realms. In the Immortal Emperor realm, there is also a stronger realm of cultivation. Whether it is to complete the path of the Immortal Emperor or to pursue a higher level of cultivation, Qin Hao must leave the Immortal realm. Master, have you found the place where the ancient Immortal Emperors left? Qin Yiyi, Qin Fengxiu, and other Qin Hao's disciples also asked. Haven't found it yet, but I have some clues. The eyebrows Qin Hao mentioned naturally refer to the shattered ancient world. Before, when he was half-stepping as an immortal emperor, he could not penetrate into the secrets of the shattered ancient world. But now, he has reached the immortal emperor realm, and naturally things were different in the past. After chatting for a while, Qin Hao didn't stay any longer and entered the broken world with one thought. But after arriving, Qin Hao discovered that he still underestimated this ancient world. Because even with his current cultivation level in the immortal emperor realm, he could not see through this ancient world. This also made Qin Hao, I'm quite curious. If he couldn't understand it when he was half an immortal emperor, it might be justified. After all, here, the 7 immortal emperor realms were once manifested. However, with Qin Hao's cultivation level, but still could only perceive chaos, unable to see through and capture anything, which was enough to shock Qin Hao. After that, Qin Hao came to the depths of this broken world and sat cross-legged in the sky. There was a mysterious immortal emperor. The aura radiates from Qin Hao's body and penetrates into all parts of the world. Qin Hao is concentrating on perceiving the secrets hidden in this ancient world. Time, captured by this kind of perception, passes quickly. Tens of thousands of years pass in the blink of an eye. Passed away. After thousands of years, the foundation of the immortal realm, which was originally severely damaged, has also recovered a lot. More importantly, there is no dark energy in this world. The giants are even more blessed by this and are attacking the immortal emperor realm one after another. Of course, if they want to reach the immortal emperor realm, it is naturally impossible. However, there is a chance to achieve the half-step immortal emperor realm. Daoyi, the Holy Land, has developed extremely rapidly in these 10,000 years. In addition to the endless cultivation resources obtained by Deyi Holy Land, there is also the reason why Qin Hao left behind the immortal emperor realm insights. When the foundation of the immortal realm is flourishing, then Qin Hao, who was sitting cross-legged in the broken wilderness, slowly opened his eyes. Finally found. A dazzling fairy light flashed from Qin Hao's eyes. _Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share, comma. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy: after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 423. Qin Hao stood up and walked towards somewhere in this broken wilderness. Not long after, Qin Hao came to a void area. Here, there are mysterious laws oscillating and permeating. Those mysterious fluctuations are extremely obscure. Even if Qin Hao set foot in the realm of the immortal emperor, it took him thousands of years to capture this slight fluctuation of the law. There is no doubt that this is definitely the immortal emperor, and even the breath of law above the immortal emperor. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Qin Hao to perceive and capture it so hard. After taking a deep breath, Qin Hao felt the laws of the emperor's realm surge through his body, rushing toward the place where the laws fluctuated. Boom! The next moment, a vast and boundless aura of immortality, like a mountain torrent collapsing or a tsunami sweeping across, rushed towards Qin Hao unscrupulously. Qin Hao's body shook violently, he groaned, and blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. What a terrible smell! In Qin Hao's heart, there was unconcealable shock. That terrifying aura like a mountain torrent and tsunami was just the pressure of the aura. Apart from that, there was no other pressure from any law. But even so, it still made people feel uncomfortable. Qin Hao felt a terrible palpitating feeling of being mentally unstable. From this, we can see what a terrifying world is hidden behind that obscure void. However, after stabilizing his mind, Qin Hao also had a bright light shining in his eyes. Since there is a more powerful aura of law than the immortal emperor, which means that the world behind the void is the place he is looking for. After taking a deep breath, Qin Hao broke into the void without hesitation. Boom! Immediately, there were endless, chaotic, and destructive Dao laws, which impacted fiercely. Even though Qin Hao tried his best to stabilize the emperor's soul, he still felt his soul trembling. After that, Qin Hao felt conscious, plunged into endless darkness. After a long period of darkness, Qin Hao gradually woke up, and the sound of rushing water appeared in his ears. On the sea. Qin Hao opened his eyes, and a house filled with fairy patterns came into view. However, judging from the shaking sensation and the sound of the sea water, he was indeed sailing on the sea. Wrong. But soon, Qin Hao discovered that the cultivation level that he had originally set foot in the immortal emperor realm was completely gone. More importantly, Qin Hao still had extremely terrifying innate injuries in his body. It can be said that Qin Hao now, not only was his cultivation dissipated, but he was also seriously injured and could die at any time. Zhiga. When Qin Hao sensed the cultivation in his body, the door was pushed open, and a slim figure, holding a fragrant elixir, carefully walked in. It was a woman, she looked to be in her early 20s, and she was quite beautiful. Although she did not embody the laws of the emperor, her aura was so amazing that she had already reached the quasi-emperor level. "Senior, are you awake?" When she saw Qin Hao open his eyes, the beautiful woman was startled and hurriedly came over and helped Qin Hao sit up. "Where is this place? Who are you?" Qin Hao, who did not sense any malice from this woman, did not refuse her support. Of course, if this woman had any malice, that would be another matter. Regardless of Qin Hao's current lack of cultivation, but with his methods, killing a quasi-emperor is just a matter of thought. The younger generation is a member of Taishu Immortal Sect and is currently in the Brahma Sea. Zhao Qinyu heard this and quickly replied respectfully. Taishu Immortal Sect? Borneo. Qin Hao's eyes flashed slightly. These are strange places that he has never heard of. It seems very likely that he really left the immortal realm and entered the place where the immortal emperors came from in the past. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 424. Have you never heard of the Borneo Sea? Seeing Qin Hao's appearance, Zhao Qinyu's eyes flashed, and her previous guesses were confirmed. Indeed, I haven't heard of it. Qin Hao didn't deny anything, he nodded directly. The Borneo Sea is located in the west of Sankin Days Hu. The sea area connects the boundaries of nearly 100 states. It has a great reputation in the Hunyuan dynasty. Senior, could it be that he flew from the lower world? Zhao Qinyu explained while inquiring about Qin Hao's origins. You know, there are extremely terrifying innate restrictions over the Borneo Sea. Except for the sea beasts living in the sea, even immortal creatures cannot fly. But Qin Hao, after suffering such devastating injuries, he was still able to hang in the sky over the sea. More importantly, those extremely ferocious sea beasts in the Borneo Sea actually avoided them one after another and did not dare to approach at all. It is precisely because of this that Zhao Qinyu waiting for others, they will take the risk and bring Qin Hao on board. Because their Teishu immortal sect is now in dire troubles. If Qin Hao is really as they suspected, he is a giant who has ascended from the lower world. Then this will be a huge blow to their Teishu immortal section. It's a huge opportunity. After all, those who can break the barrier between heaven and earth and fly to the upper realm are those who have entered the realm of immortality. Let's talk about the situation here. Qin Hao nodded and drank the spiritual liquid in the bowl. But this amount of liquid was only a drop in the bucket for his injury. Of course, since he was not dead, Qin Hao's method could not be used to restore the injury. It's just a matter of time. Normally, we should take advantage of this period to figure out the current situation. Okay. When Zhao Yuqian heard this, she did not hesitate and immediately told all the information about this ancient world. This ancient world is called the Hunyuan Ancient World. It is said to be one of the highest ancient worlds. It is under the Hunyuan Ancient World. It is also connected with billions of realms. According to Qin Hao's judgment, the fairyland, foreign lands, and other realms he was in before are a realm under the Hunyuan Ancient Realm. The Hunyuan Ancient Realm is vast, boundless. The land boundaries that are currently known are divided into 3,000 states. Each state is boundless. Even a creature at the level of a true immortal would have to take hundreds of thousands of years to fly across a state. The boundaries of the state are so vast. It is natural to imagine how big the entire Hunyuan Ancient Realm is. More importantly, the 3,000 days Hu is only the area that has been explored in the Hunyuan Ancient Realm. Those unknown, I don't know how big the area is. A giant immortal emperor once predicted that the area explored by the Hunyuan Ancient World is probably not even 1,000th of the area compared to the unknown area. The cultivation system of the Hunyuan Ancient World, and all the worlds, are also aware of it. The four realms of Quasi-Emperor, Great Emperor, True Immortal, and Immortal King are the same. But the Immortal Emperor realm after the Immortal King is called the Great Luo realm. Among the 3,000 states, the creatures in the Deluo realm are called ancient ancestors. The number of these ancient ancestors in the Deluo realm is far more than Qin Hao expected. In each state, there are at least 3 great ancestors. The strong men of the Luo realm sit here. Among the ancient traditions of the core continent, there are more than 10 Deluo realms. To be honest, Qin Hao has never thought of this situation in the Hunyuan Ancient Realm. If the Deluo realm is quite in terms of the Immortal Emperor realm, doesn't that mean that there are tens of thousands of Immortal Emperor creatures in this ancient world, or even more? Is this possible? Even though this ancient world is one of the highest ancient worlds, this is too terrifying. However, following Zhao Yuqian's explanation, Qin Hao felt that this matter was not impossible. Because in the ancient world of Hunyuan, there is also the realm of Deluo, an even more terrifying realm. The realm of Deluo is called the Ancient Ancestor. But after the Ancient Ancestor, there are also the Holy Ancestor and the rumored Dao Ancestor. In other words, in the realm of the Immortal Emperor, at least, there are still 2 major realms. Fantasy: after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author: love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 425. Holy Ancestor, Taoist Ancestor. There was a bright light shining in Qin Hao's eyes. This feeling is equivalent to someone walking to the edge of a cliff and suddenly seeing a chain. Although the road ahead was unknown and full of dangers, at least he found a way forward. Moreover, Qin Hao instinctively felt that the two titles of Saint Ancestor and Dao Ancestor were more than just two realms. Call. After slowly exhaling the turbid breath, Qin Hao's mind became active. Although I don't know if this ancient world is the world where Immortal Domain and the Immortal Emperor arrive. But at the very least, he has found the direction of his cultivation. When he reaches the rumored Taoist realm, he should be able to return to the immortal realm. Since all the people from his sect stayed in the immortal realm, Qin Hao would not take any precautions against them. When he is strong enough, he will return to the immortal realm and bring all the people from Dei Holy Land with him. After all, in this Hunyuan ancient realm, there is no suppression from the immortal emperor realm, so you can practice with peace of mind. For monks, if they don't break through the final limit, even if they become immortals and emperors, it will be just a dream in the end. Senior, actually we rescued you because we have something to ask for. Seeing Qin Hao come to his senses, Zhao Qinyu took a few steps back, bowed and said, "Tell me the story." Qin Hao was not surprised by this. It was neither a relative nor an acquaintance, and it was in a dangerous place like the Brahma Sea. The Teishu immortal sect would take the risk to save him, so it was natural that he had a plan. If you really want to talk about the Teishu immortal sect, if there is no selfishness at all, then there is a real problem. It is a taboo for practitioners to meddle in other people's business. Of course, Qin Hao agreed without a single word. He had to know first how deep the water inside was. After all, he has no cultivation now. Even if he has trump cards, his combat power is still limited. And this world, with creatures above the immortal emperor, is much more dangerous than the immortal realm. Because the ancestor of my immortal sect has passed away, my Teishu immortal sect is currently being targeted by many Taoists. Therefore, I would like to ask seniors if they can temporarily take charge of my immortal section. Senior, don't worry, if you look at the Taoism of our Teishu immortal sect, the strongest ones are only at the true immortal level. Zhao Qinyu said quickly. At the level of true immortal, well, that is indeed not difficult. Qin Hao nodded slightly after hearing this. Did Senior agree? When Zhao Qinyu saw this, her clear eyes immediately lit up like stars. If it is true as you said, I will stay in your fairy gate for the time being. Qin Hao smiled. As for whether what Zhao Qinyu said was true or false, Qin Hao didn't care too much. If the situation was far beyond what Zhao Qinyu said, then he would just slap his butt and leave. If he can't be beaten, there would be no problem if he ran away immediately. Zhao Qinyu left happily and immediately notified the people of the Teishu immortal sect on the giant ship. In the antique room. Qian'er, what do you mean, that Senior is willing to go to our Teishu immortal sect? Zhao Wuxian, who was wearing robes and had a rough face, also perked up when he heard Zhao Qinyu's words. The powerful Teishu immortal sect who gathered around him were even talking about it. Judging from the scene they had seen before, Qin Hao's cultivation level is at least in the true immortal realm, and may even reach the immortal king realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to be able to frighten the sea beasts in the Borneo Sea when his cultivation level is exhausted. Did that senior make any requests? A white-haired old woman with wrinkles asked. No. Zhao Qinyu shook her head and said. From this point of view, it is very likely that the senior just regards my Teishu immortal sect as a place to recuperate, and will probably leave after his injuries recover. The white-haired old woman said. Granny Qi, do you mean to win over that senior Ruxianman? When Zhao Wuxian heard this, he immediately understood the meaning of the white-haired old woman's words. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 426. Didn't Jenner say that the senior ascended from the lower world? That means that the senior must be unfamiliar with the ancient world of Hunyuan dynasty. In this case, why can't I, the Teishu immortal sect, win that person into the door? You must know that the real root problem of our immortal sect is that our ancestor has passed away. Without the combat power of the true immortal level, even if our immortal sect can avoid this disaster, in the end, we will still be the prey of others. If we want to completely solve the root problem, we must either give birth to another true immortal, or win that senior into the immortal section. The white-haired old woman said one after another. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the house fell into deep thought. Granny Chi's move was indeed a far-sighted move. It could not only solve the immediate worries, but also bring their Teishu immortal sect together. All future worries have been solved. But the question is, with the background of their immortal sect, is that senior willing to stay forever? The creatures who can ascend from the lower world are the ones with the weakest cultivation, and at the very least they are true immortals starting. And before that senior, the ferocious beasts in the sea area did not dare to come close to sea, for fear that they could still be giants at the level of the immortal king. To be honest, their Teishu immortal sect really did not have enough for such figures. The bargaining chip can win him over and stay. Have you forgotten that our immortal sect has forbidden areas? The white-haired old woman said. Forbidden land. When Zhao Qinyu and others heard this, they all looked at the white-haired old woman. Granny Qi, what exactly is there in the immortal gate forbidden land? Zhao Wuxian also looked at the white-haired old woman. Among their Teishu immortal sect, the oldest person is Granny Qi. Although her cultivation level is not very high, Granny Qi has lived for a long time. For immortals, the secrets of the sect are much clearer than those of the previous immortal sect masters. This is not something you should know, but I think that senior will definitely be interested. Grandma Qi shook her head, not telling the secrets hidden in the forbidden area. Xiao Qian, take me to see that senior. After that, Granny Qi looked at Zhao Qinyu. Obviously, she was planning to go there in person to convince Qin Hao. Yes. When Zhao Qinyu heard this, she didn't hesitate and immediately took Granny Qi there. In the house, Qin Hao, who was sitting cross-legged and meditating, feeling the injuries in his body, his expression moved slightly. After a while, there was a knock on the door. Senior. After that, Zhao Qinyu's crisp voice rang out. Come in. Qin Hao opened his eyes and said. I've met seniors. The door opened, and two figures filed in and saluted Qin Hao. It was Zhao Qinyu and Granny Qi. Something's wrong. After looking at Zhao Qinyu and Zhao Qinyu, Qin Hao asked directly. I am taking the liberty to come here to invite you, senior, to join our Teishu immortal section. Of course, we will never let our seniors join us in vain. After hearing Qin Hao's words, Granny Qi did not hesitate and said straight to the point. It seems that you have prepared your chips. Let's talk about it. Qin Hao has lived for a long time, and it is natural to see at a glance that everyone in the Teishu immortal sect has already made preparations to win him over. What Qin Hao doesn't know is what can they come up with to get him to join. Of course, when you come to Teishu immortal sect, you only have the foundation of the true immortal realm, and there are no treasures. When Zhao Qinyu saw this, she turned around and closed the door and left. In my Teishu immortal sect, there is an ancient forbidden area. Within the forbidden area, there are ancient ancestor level opportunities. Grandma Qi spoke, and what she said surprised Qin Hao. Ancient ancestor, in the ancient world of Hunyuan, that is the realm of Deluo, equivalent to the immortal emperor level giant. Qin Hao never expected that this little there is such an immortal treasure hidden in the small Teishu immortal sect. If this news is true, it will be a great opportunity for Qin Hao. Although Qin Hao has unified his three bodies, stepped into the Immortal Emperor level, and beheaded Dark Immortal Emperor. But to be honest, Qin Hao has not truly aspired to the Immortal Emperor realm. Because among the three pure beings transformed into one Qi, he only has the past body and the future body. He has reached the Immortal Emperor level, but his current body as the main body cannot still stuck at the half-step Immortal Emperor level. Therefore, if this problem cannot be solved, Qin Hao's cultivation will always be stuck at the Immortal Emperor level and unable to set foot in higher realms. Therefore, if there really is an ancient immortal in Teishu Immortal Sect, if you have a chance, then this Teishu Immortal Sect is really worth a visit. Come to think of it, even in the ancient world of Hunyuan, opportunities at the Immortal Emperor level are absolutely extremely rare. Fantasy: after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author: love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 427. The ancestor of your Teishu Immortal Sect is not an ancient ancestor, right? After pondering for a while, Qin Hao looked at Granny Qi. If there was no Immortal Emperor level existence, it would be impossible for the Teishu Immortal Sect to have the opportunity of an Immortal Emperor. Of course, it is also possible that the ancestor of the Teishu Immortal Sect discovered the Immortal Emperor. Emperor's opportunity, that's why he created the Teishu Immortal Sect there. The founder of my Teishu Immortal Sect has disappeared for countless years. The specific cultivation level is unknown to us and other descendants. However, the Patriarch's life tablet that has been sealed in the forbidden area of our Immortal Gate has always been there. When Granny Qi heard this, she revealed an even deeper level of truth. If the life card is still there, it means that your Immortal Sect Patriarch is still alive? Qin Hao's expression moved slightly and he asked. The life cards usually contain things that are closely related to the host, such as the original bloodline, the original soul power, etc. Therefore, if the life cards are not broken, it means that the host, most likely still alive. This actually made Qin Hao a little curious. He had previously inquired about the situation of Teishu Immortal Sect. Although Teishu Immortal Sect was not eye-catching in the ancient world of Hunyuan dynasty, Teishu Immortal Sect since the establishment of the sect, there are dozens of eras of history. And one era in the Hunyuan ancient world is longer than the entire development history of the immortal realm. Even an immortal king-level existence cannot do anything in the Hunyuan ancient world. Live for dozens of epochs. But if the founder of the Teishu Immortal Sect really is an immortal emperor-level existence, how could it have declined to this point? The entire immortal sect does not even have a true immortal, and is still being watched by other Taoist traditions. It doesn't matter whether the ancestor is alive or not. Anyway, now, my immortal sect is at the critical point of destruction, so I want to invite seniors to join my immortal section. Grandma Qi shook her head and smiled bitterly. Of course she also hopes that the founder of the Xianmen is still alive, but in fact, everyone in the Xianmen has tried various secret methods to detect it, but to no avail. Because the founder's life card has no reaction at all, that's why, only the Teishu Immortal Sect would want to use the Forbidden Land as a bargaining chip to win Qin Hao into joining the Immortal Sect. Interesting. If what you said is true, then I don't mind hanging a place of worship in your fairy gate. Qin Hao didn't say anything. He had to find out the situation first. If what Granny Qi said is true, it means that the grievances between the Teishu Immortal Sect may be much more troublesome than he thought. Of course, if there is an opportunity of the Immortal Emperor level, Qin Hao will still prepare to join the Teishu Immortal Sect even though there will be some trouble. After all, the Immortal Emperor level of immortality is extremely rare and cannot be let go. If he can do it, if you can make up for the origin of the Immortal Emperor, it will be a great opportunity. What the junior said is absolutely not false at all. Senior, just go to my immortal gate and have a look. When Grandma Qi heard this, she was overjoyed and saluted quickly. Boom! Just at this moment, Bursts of violent and destructive immortal magic exploded, and the entire giant ship shook violently, as if it might be destroyed at any time. Someone attacked. Grandma Chi's face changed drastically, and without saying a word, she immediately burst out of the air and appeared on the giant ship. At this time, Zhao Qianyu, Zhao Wuxian and other powerful people from the Teishu immortal sect had already gathered around the giant ship and were waiting. At this time, the entire giant ship was covered by an ancient barrier, resisting the fierce attacks from all directions. Hundreds of monks with terrifying auras appeared in the sea around the giant ship. Surrounding those monks, there was also a ferocious and terrifying beast staring at it. There was a hell dog with 3 heads, a terrifying ape with 3 heads and 6 arms, a one-horned celestial lin whose body was burning with raging ghost fire, and a dragon scale. It is filled with a huge 9 netherworld python like a mountain. The ferocious and terrifying aura is enough to chill people's hearts and give them an unquenchable feeling of horror. Those monks and ferocious beasts all have powerful combat power at the level of the great emperor. There are hundreds of emperor monks and dozens of ferocious emperor beasts. Such terrifying combat power is enough to sweep everything in the true fairyland. What's more important is that in the darkness, there is still a faint aura of the true fairyland. Looming, obviously, there is a being at the level of true immortal hidden in the dark. Father, they seem to be the murderers of Tianquan Valley. Zhao Qianyu's clear and bright eyes, after taking a closer look at those terrifying monks surrounded by evil spirits, revealed a look of shock that could not be concealed, and even a hint of panic appeared in her eyes. Tianquan Valley. Is it the rumored place where endless terrifying murderers gather? Aren't these murderers operating near the ancient mountains? Why did they come to this part of the Borneo Sea? After hearing Zhao Qianyu's words, the expressions of the powerful men of Teishu immortal sect changed greatly. Tianquan Valley is a gathering place for outlaws with illustrious and vicious reputations among the 3,000 states. There are mixed dragons and snakes inside. The background of committing dangerous things such as killing people and stealing goods is unfathomable. Even those top Taoists are a little afraid of Tiankang. Naturally, the people of the Teishu immortal sect could not imagine that these strange murderers would actually appear in the Borneo Sea. I think you all are the strong men of Teishu immortal section. A cold voice appeared. Along with the cold ghost mist, a thin man in black robe stepped out, with a pair of green eyes, staring at Teishu Xianmen and others fiercely. The yin robe beside the man in black robe in the cold ghost mist, there are also ferocious and terrifying ghosts emerging, glowing with a creepy green light, like evil ghosts from hell rushing out, and they may slaughter the world at any time. I, the Teishu immortal sect, should have no grudges with you. I wonder why, fellow Taoists, you want to block the ships of my immortal sect. Zhao Wuxian stood up, looked at the man in black robe solemnly, and spoke in a deep voice. He had already recognized that the strange man in black robe was a cultivator of evil spirits. Of monks. Those who practice the path of evil ghosts will merge with the evil ghosts and become half human and half ghost, in order to gain powerful Taoism. Judging from the ghostly aura emanating from the man in black robe, his cultivation has probably reached the limit of the great emperor realm. As long as he takes one step closer, he can step into the realm of ghosts and immortals. From then on, he can transform into an immortal and reach the pinnacle in one step. As entrusted by others, I ask everyone from the Teishu immortal sect to come with us. The voice of the man in black robe became colder and colder, and the murderous intention around him became more and more terrifying. Those ferocious ghosts were already exuding soul-devouring murderous intent, and they seemed to be unable to restrain themselves. Want to rush out, eat people's souls, take away people's essence and blood. Fellow Taoist, I think there must be some misunderstanding in this. In this way, if the person who is entrusted with the throne has given you any reward, I, the Teishu immortal sect, are willing to give you double it. Zhao Wuxian's heart sank when he heard this, but his face showed no emotion. He also put forward conditions, hoping to win over the people in Tianquan Valley and avoid this murder. Double. Ha ha ha, I'm afraid that your Teishu immortal sect can't afford double the remuneration now. Hearing Zhao Wuxian's words, the black-robed ghost cultivator laughed loudly, and the other murderers from Tianquan Valley also showed signs of not returning the kindness and smiled sinisterly.